With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This message is sponsored by Greenlight. With school out, summer is the perfect time to teach our kids real-world money skills they'll use forever. Greenlight is a debit card and the #1 family finance and safety app used by millions of families, helping kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely. Parents can send their kids money and track their spending and saving, while kids build money confidence and skills in fun ways. Start your risk-free Greenlight trial today at greenlight.com/Spotify. That's greenlight.com/Spotify.
How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pâté. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in 1 convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
The McDonald's snack wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch snack wrap. Spicy snack wrap. You broke the internet for a snack. Snack wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Got some good news for your ears. More of that good stuff is coming up. And even better news for your hair. The best hair care is at Sephora. They've got all kinds of products for every kind of hair. From brands like Amika, Kerastase, Day, and K18. You knew where to get great audio. Now, you know where to get great hair care, too. Sephora. Good news for great hair. Shop hair care now at Sephora.com.
Are your business expenses playing hide and seek? With Uber for Business, the small spends that slip through the cracks, like rides and meals, go right where you need them. Because it integrates with leading expense platforms, you can say goodbye to surprise costs, missing dollars, or chasing receipts. Everything's track downable. Uber for Business. Make small steps that make a big impact. Learn more at uber.com/small steps.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and zero cooking. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite food delivered straight to you. Get Burger King, Subway, Popeyes, and hundreds more local favorites and savor every last bite. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
Hey, this is Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast, here to help you make the most of your summer with Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer worth playing for. Play for it with the guys when you're competing to see who can sink more birdies on the golf course, because winning tastes even better with Ultra on the line. Play for Ultra. Fill your fridge with Michelob Ultra this summer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
This episode is brought to you by Hyundai. Get into the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event and get away with a deal so right, it almost feels wrong. Because right now, you can save big on their most popular models, including SUVs like the Hyundai Santa Fe and Santa Fe Hybrid, and the all-electric Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit HyundaiUSA.com. Offers end September 2nd, 2025.
Jif peanut butter. It's that jiffing good, it doesn't really need advertising. So instead, enjoy the calming sounds of the ocean. Jif. Ooh, it's that jiffing good. Get your Jif at Jif.com.
Learning through play starts with Lego Duplo. With Lego Duplo, toddlers can develop real-life skills while having fun with colorful bricks made just for them. Large, easy to grip, and safe to explore. When children express themselves with Lego Duplo, they build patience, problem-solving, and empathy. See your child learn perseverance and self-expression with everything they imagine and create. Visit lego.com/preschool to learn more.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
With the Venmo debit card, you can Venmo everything. Your favorite band's merch? You can Venmo this. Or their next show? You can Venmo that. Visit Venmo.me/debit to learn more. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Card may be used everywhere MasterCard is accepted. Venmo purchase restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This is the way it feels to move through summer in Lululemon. Iconic Align softness without the front seam. For our smoothest look and feel ever. Summer won't know what hit it. Stretch your limits in the non-stop flexibility of the new Lululemon Align No-Line Pant in select stores and at Lululemon.com.
Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the HCI family of podcasts. We're your source for personal, professional, and organizational growth and development. We share our own original research, explore industry trends, and interview executives and thought leaders from across the globe. Join us for practitioner-oriented content around all things leadership, HR, talent management, organizational development, and change management. Maximize your personal and organizational potential with the HCI family of podcasts.
Hasan Merali, welcome to the conversation today.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
It is great to be with you. You're joining us from the Toronto area. I'm south of Salt Lake City in Utah. And today we're going to be talking about teamwork lessons we can learn from toddlers and other organizational lessons and tips and leadership. I think this is such a fun topic. When I saw this come across my desk and as we...
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream house or ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Have you ever spotted McDonald's hot, crispy fries right as they're being scooped into the carton? And time just stands still. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We started to prepare for this episode. I'm like, I've talked about a lot of things with a lot of people as it relates to leadership. I think this one is one of the most unique that I've ever seen or heard. So I was thrilled to have a chance to sit down with you and have this conversation. And as a father of 6 children, I've gone through that process, that stage of like raising kids and having kids go through the toddler stage. And immediately my mind went back to, raising kids and seeing the kids go through those stages. And I'm thinking, I think there are a lot of lessons I could probably learn from that. So anyways, it'll be a fun opportunity to kind of reminisce and to think back to that. And of course, your expertise in pediatrics and whatnot, I think will be a really great, significant contribution to this conversation. As we get started, I wanted to share Hasan's bio with everybody. Hasan Merali is a medical doctor and is associate professor in the Department of Pediatrics at McMaster University, a pediatric emergency medicine physician at McMaster Children's Hospital in Hamilton, Ontario. He received his medical degree from Harvard Medical School and Master of Public Health degree from Johns Hopkins University. His research focus is on children injury prevention in low and middle income countries. He has published more than 25 peer-reviewed journal articles, and his writing has been featured in Science, the Boston Globe, NBC, CBC, and Popular Science. His first book, Sleep Well, Take Risks, Squish the Peas, Secrets from the Science of Toddlers for a Happier, More Successful Way of Life, was published by Health Communications in March of 2024. There's a whole lot more I could say, but I'm going to pause there. Anything you would like to highlight by way of your background or personal context before we dive on in?
Yeah, no, thank you. That was very helpful, I think, for the audience. And I just wanted to say, wow, you have 6 children. I don't think I've actually met anyone that has 6 kids. So that's incredible. You'll have a lot of expertise on this topic too, being a professional parent and person who raised 6 toddlers. So that's wonderful.
Well, and I joke because we have 6 kids, my wife and I, but we're both kind of slackers compared to our families. I come from a family of 8 children, and my wife comes from a family of 11 children. And so, yeah, I guess generationally, right? In comparison to our parents' generation, we're slackers in terms of the kids.
No, that's really, really great. Yeah, I think as we get going, it'll be helpful to share some of your stories too as you think back as well, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and start with kind of the overarching question. What are some of these lessons that we can learn from toddlers that relate to teamwork and interpersonal relationships? That's probably not the first thing people think about when they see toddlers running around playing, having a good time, sometimes not having a good time. I mean, Toddlers are an interesting phase of life. So what is it about toddlers?
Yeah, exactly what you said. It's such an interesting phase of life. And I've been in pediatrics 15 years now. And over these years, I've had so many wonderful interactions with them and kind of dove into the research and looked at their behavior. And actually, it maps very well onto adult wellness literature as well as business leadership literature. So I really wanted to get this message out to the world. And so I think teamwork is a great place to start. It was my favorite chapter to write. And it's just incredible how they work in teams. They have two goals in life generally. One is building relationships and one is learning. And when you put those two things together, it comes out in so many wonderful ways. And so teamwork is one of them where they're very, very focused on getting the work done with the other person rather than what is the outcome of what we're doing. And so a very fun example. So you take a toddler, you put an unfamiliar adult, someone they've never met before, and you get them to do a joint task. And this task is only accomplishable by two people. One person can't do it. And what they do is they have the adult just stop working on the task. And so the toddler is looking up, trying to figure out what is this person doing and what did they do? First thing, and I think this is a really important thing, is clear communication. They just address that person directly, in toddler language, man or woman, that's the language they have. And they tell them what to do. Non-judgmental, just very simple. Their assumption is that person just didn't understand. I'm going to show them. So they say, lift it, pull this, very simple language. Next thing they do, that person is still just staring at them. They're still a little confused, but they want to work with that person because that's their goal. So they walk over to that person and they actually physically show them what they need to be doing. Again, like we all work in teams. Someone's not functioning the way they should. The assumption should be they didn't understand the instructions. And I think that's a beautiful toddler mindset to have. We address them respectfully, no judgment. We show them what to do. And that's how they can focus on teamwork and get things done. And then in the end, what I really love about them, whether the project went well or not, let's say it didn't go well and they didn't get the task done, like sometimes happens in our own teams, they use the words we. So we didn't get it done. They share the blame equally with the other person because they're just in the team and the team didn't get it done. And that's their mindset. And I think that's a wonderful lesson that we can learn from them.
Yeah, interesting. It doesn't even occur to them, right? To point fingers, pass blame, anything like that, right?
Not at all. Yeah, no, they're incredible. And, they're very happy to get rewarded for their things like the rest of us are. And sometimes we get unequal rewards. And as adults, we're very good at protesting when someone got more than we did or we think they did. And toddlers will also protest that, but they do the opposite. If you put them in a team with someone and they get more than the other person, they will recognize that and protest that because they want that team to be equal.
So let me ask a question, and this is kind of the opposite of like, let's learn from toddlers. Like, at what point do we unlearn that? So like this seems to be kind of innate in us, right? From the time we're just small. We have these things that are innate in us, like this cooperative component that seems to be like from a evolutionary, psychological, biological kind of thing, right? We have this cooperative component. We have this creative component that's in us that as we get older, these things start to like get stripped from us from the way we're raised, the way we're schooled, like all this kind of stuff. Like what do you see? Like at what point does this start to like come away from us? And what can we do about that?
Yeah, I know it's a good question. So I focus and I use toddler a little more broadly than the actual definition of toddler, which is age 1 to 3. I also include preschoolers. They're very similar and they do a lot of the same things. So I consider this a magical age between 1 and 5. And so a lot of these things drop off after that. So pretty early in childhood. And we go over all of these cliffs, what has previously been described as a humor cliff. Like we laugh less as we get older. We read a lot less as we get older. And like you said, less creativity, less play, less of that evolutionary teamwork, innate ability that we have. And so, they go away slowly. There are ways and things we can do to make them come back. And one of the things is because our brains keep changing and we're always learning is we can. And I like to talk about tapping into our inner child. And that inner child, it's interesting because we actually did all those things, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. And so we can get those back. We just need to think about them and be more intentional about them. Like we do with any other things, and they just need to be part of our new habits that we're going to be learning or relearning in this case.
Yeah, yeah. Well, very good. And I sometimes think about that with myself. Like, how can I get that back? How can I be more childlike? And sometimes my kids tease me about that. They're like, "Dad, you're like a teenager," or like, "Dad, I'm 46." So they're like, "Dad, why are you acting like that? Why are you, being, silly or whatever?" And I'm like, in some ways I take that as a compliment, like, because
It is.
I kind of want to be, not like this old kind of curmudgeonly person, but it's tricky. It's hard to, on the one hand, not be seen as someone who's just like this complete, I don't know, inappropriate goofball, and on the other hand, like someone who can tap into that innocence, that play, that those sorts of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're lucky that you have six children and you were reminded many times of the things that you could be doing. And it's wonderful. I think one of the ways that we can do that, I'm very lucky that I get to spend time around little kids. But one of the most beautiful examples I've seen is now in retirement homes. They've kind of commingled them with daycares and preschools. And when you put those two groups of people together, it's incredible. Like these older people who suffer from high rates of loneliness will have smiles, play, laughter, dancing, and multiple studies have shown all the benefits of just being around unrelated toddlers in your life any way you can really bring that out in us, if that's possible.
Yeah, and certainly, that loneliness piece I've seen. I love the idea of being able to bring out that creative piece, that play piece, even in someone who's, very, aged and maybe hasn't felt that or experienced that in a really long time. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
you started
and
to talk about it. Like, what are some other ways that perhaps a daycare or a preschool could be analogous with like an ideal workplace?
Yeah, I wanted to mention one thing from the other topic we were talking about. There's just a really great YouTube series for any of your viewers. It is called Old People's Home for 4-Year-Olds. And they're just clips you can watch from this show that was produced in the UK and then Australia. It's just incredible to really get exactly what we're talking about here of putting older people and younger people together.
Very cool.
But to your question, I think about this a lot because my little one is now in preschool. She was in daycare when I wrote everything, and she just changed in September. But daycare is actually the ideal workplace, and what these kids can do is learn at a faster rate than anyone and grow at a faster rate than anyone, mentally and physically. And what's interesting about daycare is it's set up in such an incredible way to allow for that. So it's open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Imagine just your workplace for a minute. So 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., it's flexible. You can come when you want, you get to leave when you want. You need to put in your hours, but it does have that flexibility. You have an on-site chef that's going to make nutritious meals and snacks for you in the daytime. You have 2 outdoor breaks every day. And so 30 minutes to 60 minutes every morning and every afternoon, you're going to be outside. And we know all the health benefits from this for the workplace. And then also you get a nap. I mean, there it's 2 hours, but we know a power nap of 20 minutes for adults is incredibly helpful to solidify things we are doing and then also refresh us for the next session. And I think one of the really important things, because burnout is such a big problem, is that you can't stay late. You get charged dollars per minute of staying late.
Interesting.
And it's closed after 6 p.m. There's no work done after that. There's nothing on the weekends. And I just love this ideal workplace where people can thrive.
Yeah. Being charged every minute you stay late. How interesting would that be if all of a sudden we had a workplace where not only, are you not encouraged to stay late to do more work, but you're actually not paid, you're charged for every minute you stay.
Yeah. I think we might eventually need to do that because, some people are just there too much, or the phones are logging in or something.
That's funny. No, I love that. And I was literally, so my wife and I are both professors, and we both work at the same university. Our offices are just like down the hall from each other. So we're both walking in together, this morning. We drop off the kids at school. We're walking into the building together. And literally we were both this morning just talking about how we just need to take more breaks during the day. Like we just get in the grind, we get focused. We're both good at getting focused. And so I'm sitting at my computer, I'm like doing my work. And then I have full intention of like getting up, taking a walk break, going and doing whatever, doing it periodically. But then I get focused and I forget, or I think, oh, I'm going to do this one more thing, and then I'll go do my walk break. And then that one thing turns into 5 things, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. And actually today it was because I every day I bring a novel with me to work thinking, today's the day I'm going to like take a 20-minute break and just sit and read my novel. And it never happens. But I bring it every day, just, with that full intention. And then every day I never do. And then I take it home with me. And I do it every day. And we were joking about that this morning. I'm like, I brought it again today. I have every intention that I'm going to take a 20-minute break and read my novel. Maybe today will be the day. I have intentions that I'm going to like walk around and take a walk break. I have intentions of all these things. And then I just don't do it, And so like preschools, though, they have these structured built-in times for kids to take naps, for kids to go play outside, for, all these things. I'm like, I 100% know that I need to do that I need to take these breaks, that I would be so much better off physically, mentally, if I did that. And yet I allow myself to get sucked in and then I don't do it, right? And I'm positive that my work is overall I'm less productive. I'm positive that I would be more creative and productive if I did those things. And yet I allow myself to get sucked into this every day, right?
Yeah, no, you brought up so many important points, and like productivity is that if that's what we want, and it is important, we'll be more productive if we do take those breaks. I'll give you one tip that I use. It works for some people. There's a program, I have no affiliation to them, called FocusMate, which is a really fantastic program because you can set up either a 30-minute, 60-minute, or 90-minute work session. You connect with someone online. And it's nice because you have an accountability partner of what you're going to be doing. So it doesn't allow for distraction. If you want to share your screen too for even more accountability, you can, although most people don't. You put yourself on mute. And then at the end of the session, you just give each other 1 minute of how the session went. And what I like about this is, number one, the accountability and helps me focus on what I need to be doing. But number two, I do 60-minute sessions and it's only scheduled for 50 minutes. So from that time frame to the next hour start, I have those 10 minutes, and then that forces me to get up because my next session isn't starting till that point. So just adding more structure like toddlers do and adding more routine can be really helpful. And then the second thing you talked about is reading, and I have a whole chapter on the book about reading and all the benefits of reading. So I'm glad you have those intentions, and I hope you're going to be able to do it more. But that is just an incredible thing for us. Maybe, and I would suggest maybe before bedtime is a really good time to be reading if you're able to, because it gets us off the screens. It solidifies that knowledge even better. And long term, we know that reading is one of these mental stimulation activities that can prevent dementia. And so a lot of good points for reading.
Yeah. And, I read a lot. I'm a professor. I read a lot, but
great.
But it's different to like be reading an academic paper or,
me too.
like doing that kind of stuff, or to just like take a break and like some brain candy reading, right? Of just like reading a novel.
Yeah. No, that's what we need to be doing. I'm in the same boat as you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, very good. Okay, so we can look to, toddlers for cooperation. We can look to them for play. We can look to them for trust. We can look to them for, kind of these workplace modeling behaviors of taking breaks, of just like self-care, some of those sorts of things. How about like mentorship, relationships, between teachers and parents, some of those types of things, and how, maybe we should be interacting together in the workplace?
Yeah, I think mentorship is a really important thing for the workplace. And I model this around toddlers and parents and caregivers, people who are around toddlers. They don't provide the exact mentorship role, but I think there's important lessons on how they interact with young children. And so number one is that mentors are really important because they can guide us on the right type of project to do. Oftentimes you're like me with being a professor, you have all these different types of projects, and some of them sound really interesting. Some of them don't. Some of them, maybe you'll have to learn a bunch of new things. Some of them are too easy, and it's hard to sort that out. And so I find I have a few mentors myself, meeting with them, going through the projects, helping me choose the best project is really helpful. And like we do that with our children, we're not going to pick something so easy for them to do next because they've mastered that, and that's not that helpful. And we're not going to pick something so far out of their skill range that they're going to give up after a little while. There needs to be that sweet spot where it's not too easy, there's enough learning, and they have a good chance of success. And I think that that is what a good mentor can help us do. And then the second point, which really I think gets undervalued, is encouragement. When I'm walking around preschool and I am going to pick up my little one, just so many great memories of every classroom just clapping and shouting hooray for any little thing that those little kids were doing. And the teachers were so encouraging for them, and that helped them push them further in their learning and development. And that's what a mentor can do for us, is provide a lot of encouragement. And I think that would be wonderful if all of us could get more encouragement, and those of us who are mentors provide more encouragement. And that toddler caregiver relationship provides a lot of that. And I think that's something we can bring to the workplace because we know that that's what can help our mentees work harder, get to that next level.
Yeah, yeah. I think, we all know that mentorship relationships are important. We need coaching, we need mentorship. Sometimes I think about it as having like my personal board of directors to help me throughout my career. Sometimes it's within a job, within an organization. I need some mentors to help me navigate that specific thing, right? But over the arc of my career too, I need help. And like I'm thinking in academia, for example, we're professors, and it's a different thing, than other types of careers. And yeah, you need some mentors to help you through that, because it's kind of this own weird, unique thing. But every career is probably that way in its own way. And so mentorship can be really helpful. And children are sponges to bringing in information and in developing relationships with people to help them to learn information. And so I think all of that is, something that we can definitely learn from. Something else that I think children are just really good at, generally speaking, is just risk taking. Like they don't seem to care about failure.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even think about failure. They don't like I say failure. They don't like that word doesn't even like resonate with them. Right. So risk taking, asking questions. We all know the kids, like I can attest to this. Like it's you watch a TV show where the kid incessantly asks you like 1,000 questions a day and the parent goes crazy. That's real.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
they literally do that, and it can drive you crazy. It's cute, but it also drives you crazy. But kids really do like ask a gazillion questions, and they take risks. They don't mind failing. They'll literally fall down, like literally like as they're learning to walk, fall down over and over and over again. And just get back up and do it again and again, right? And so, like, what can we learn from them about this risk taking, about this like resilience, and some of those types of things?
Yeah, so much to unpack there. I think I'll start with risk taking because, in my practice in the pediatric ER, I see this over and over again in these little ones. I'm just fixing fractures, repairing cuts that they have because, they think they can fly. And that's something very common. And they're trying things and they might not get there. But it's really wonderful to see them, pick the highest level, repeated failures, doesn't matter the risks, and they slowly learn. And once they get there, they know exactly their abilities and they keep trying to push themselves more. And what's interesting is they couple that high risk-taking behavior with high confidence. One of my favorite studies was this study done with adults and third graders and preschoolers. And it was a card matching game. You've probably all played this where there's cards upside down and you have to see how many you're going to get right. And so adults and the third graders and preschoolers were asked to predict how much they'll get right. And then they were actually graded on this. So adults were a little overconfident, 6%. The third graders, 22%. And the preschoolers, 147%. And what's amazing about that is they also thought that about everyone around them. And so this high risk taking with high confidence really gets us to a place where we're learning the fastest. And this has been shown in CEOs in the business world too. Those of them who are taking the most risks, there's less of a downside than in our personal lives of taking those risks. And they're getting rewarded more for being successful with those risks. So I think that's point number one and why toddlers are so great at that. And then number two, you talked about asking questions. And I think this is, very, very clear. We don't need any data to show us that toddlers ask more questions. When this has been measured actually with microphones, 107 per hour. That's what they can get up to. It's amazing. And as we get older, like we talked about these cliffs we all go over, we certainly ask less questions because we get a little question shy and we worry about what that other person's going to think of us. And that's unfortunate because there's two advantages. One, of course, we can get more information faster and hopefully help us with whatever task we're doing. But another thing I think we forget about, and what's really useful with asking a lot of questions, especially follow-up questions, is that it builds relationships. And questions for them are a relationship building tool as much as they are an information gathering tool. And that's why they're so good at both of those things.
Very good. That is so many questions per hour.
Yes.
Very good. Well, Hasan, this has just been such a great conversation. I think there's so much more we could talk about, but you've really opened my mind to thinking about like teamwork and leadership and organizational dynamics, from a different perspective as we look at children. And I think there's a lot more to consider here. I also note the time. I probably need to let you go here in a minute. Before we wrap things up, I just wanted to give you a chance to share with the audience how they can connect with you, find out more about your work, where they can find your book, and then give us a final word for today.
Yeah, I have a personal website. It's just my name, HasanMerali.com, and we'll put that in the show notes. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I post several times a week on all the wonderful lessons we can learn from toddlers, and half of them are, I would say, business lessons. So please connect with me there. And, the tagline for my website is toddlers hold the secrets to happiness and success. They have some incredible habits that we can learn from. And I hope that's the takeaway from today's episode.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure. I encourage the audience to reach out, to get connected, find out more about what Hasan can do for you. Check out the book. And as always, I hope everyone can stay healthy and safe. They can find meaning and purpose at work each and every day. And I hope you all have a great week.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the podcast. We hope you stay healthy and safe, and please join us again soon.